great expectations with regard to my journey to Sardinia, a picturesque land in the middle of the western part of the Mediterranean Sea, officially known as an autonomous region of Italy. That's what makes it special, its autonomy. Sardinians never miss the opportunity to emphasize that they have their own language, their own customs, and traditions that are different from Italy. And most importantly, their culinary traditions and recipes are absolutely unique and won't be found anywhere else. Some are even forbidden by European law. Today, we will learn how to catch and cook a shark. We'll find out what Sardinians think about sardines. And furthermore, we'll participate in a small, law-breaking activity. Actually, that's what we'll start with. Do you know what the Codex Alimentarius means? It sounds like a secret organization leaping from the pages of one of Dan Brown's books. In fact, this codex affects our lives much more than any secret lodge. It's a collection of internationally recognized standards relating to food. The European Union applies very strict norms and standards when it comes to national products, including the traditional Sardinian cheese, casu marzu. At one point, its production and sale was banned completely. We simply have to taste it and find out why it was made illegal. So, somewhere in Sardinia, I can't be more precise than that, I met Angela Mameli, who makes casu marzu solely for her own consumption. Okay, we don't really need this. We're not committing any crime. We're just breaking the law a little bit. I can see them. You know, they can leap. Can I try? I'll try not to have too many maggots on my sandwich. After all, I'm not too used to it yet. Tell me, how did this unusual food emerge?
I think it happened by accident. A long, long time ago, the exact date is of course unknown, some shepherd's pecorino, which is a sheep's milk cheese, over-matured or went rotten. Apparently, there was no other food around, so they started eating what was available and gradually took to liking it.
This cheese has a very particular taste, with a very strong aftertaste. So, if you have some of it in the morning, the taste might linger in your mouth all day long. Casu marzu is translated as rotten cheese. As you can see, the life is very vibrant within it. Maggots are swarming, and new flies are joining the chorus of mature ones. Theophila casei, the scientific name for a cheese fly. They don't have to forage for food, since they live in it. This cheese is served with bread and a strong red wine, which, as they say, helps to calm down the maggots. I suppose some might be put off by the sight of maggots. But let's be fair, they are very small. Nothing like fish eggs, just small, harmless fly eggs. Can you tell me how to prepare it and what the actual role of maggots in the process is?
First, we make a normal cheese from sheep's milk, and we leave it in a warm and dark place for the flies to come and lay their eggs in the cheese. The eggs hatch, and then the larvae begin to eat through the cheese, and the acid from the maggot's digestive system breaks down the cheese fats and make the texture of the cheese soft.
We're forced to admit that the treat contains, how to say, the metabolic byproducts of insects. Now I understand why casu marzu was having problems with the law. Moreover, there's a chance that you can become ill when eating it. So you eat the cheese, and the cheese eats you when the larvae reach your stomach. There are other possible side effects, like allergies and food poisoning. Those maggots can defend themselves. Signora Angela, why do they jump?
They're trying to run away. They can jump up to 15 centimeters. That's why we recommend that you wear glasses when you eat the cheese. If there's enough time, the maggots might hatch into flies and leave the cheese.
Okay. So now we have all the reasons to use the biological term and entitle this cheese a culinary endemic. At present, the European Union seemed to have adopted a more favorable approach to this cheese since the Sardinians persisted in making it. But it is still not available in the shops. And the islanders seem to enjoy referring to it as banned cheese, which, as it appears, only emphasizes their independence. It's like they're trying to say, they ban it, but we'll still have it our way. I must also add that in my favorite book, Extreme Cuisine, this dish has an honorary place. I wouldn't recommend to eat it, but to taste it, definitely. Maggot cheese is not the only food that is only available in Sardinia. There's also a carnivorous burrito. The main ingredient of this burrito is shark's meat. Yes, this fish is hardly eaten in Europe, but Sardinians are exceptional people. To try a shark burrito, I headed to the wonderful San Benedetto, the main market of the capital of Cagliari, and the biggest fish market in all of Italy. It's not a market. It's some sort of Neptune's paradise. So many treasures from the sea. Look, you have dorado, octopus, cuttlefish. 4,000 square meters of fresh fish and seafood. The sellers are real actors performing for their audience. The lines are as follows. Our produce is fresh, not because it hasn't gone off yet, but because it's still alive. Buyers should be on alert not to be bitten or pinched. Okay, but mine is a shark. It's got teeth, look. It's a shark, yes? Yes. Yeah, yours is much better. Right, yours is much better. But this is really a proper shark. I mean, it's got shark's teeth, even though they're small. And look at its skin. They make various wallets and holders out of shark's skin. It's easily recognizable by touch. Also, this type of shark is used in a dish known as a burrito here. Burrito, yes. It's boiled and then fried on a pan with olive oil and walnuts. They say it tastes good. And though it's very small, it still looks rather menacing, like all sharks do.
Quello si chiama gattuccio.
Gattuccio.
Perché c'ha le chiazze, le vedi? Molti sono, i palombi sono grigi.
Yes.
È tipicamente mediterraneo.
Yes. He says that they also remove the liver and also fry it, and it tastes delicious. Gattuccio, right?
Gattuccio.
Gattuccio, sì.
You will never find this dish in any guidebook, which makes one feel slightly nervous. However, having tasted maggot cheese, it makes no sense to be afraid of some shark. Gattuccio, or cat shark, can be found in the strait near Cagliari. They are rather small, not exceeding 1 meter in length. Elsewhere, fishermen throw gattuccio overboard, while here, they take it to the market. This fish is cheap. Nobody seems to like it apart from the Sardinians. There's only one recipe in the world to cook it, but I'll tell you about that later. Given today's menu, we simply have to select a matching, original, secret, authentically Sardinian garnish. Like all Italians, the citizens of this island prefer pasta as a side dish. However, their pasta is special. It looks more like a grain, and is called Fregola. They claim that about 30 years ago, no one in the rest of Italy had even heard of Fregola. And even now, Sardinians like to emphasize the original nature of this food, which was brought to the island by the Genoese seafarers on their way back from a crusade. A special Fregola cooking method is passed from generation to generation in the house of Signora Antonia. Hello there. Here are Anton and Antonia. We'll teach you how to cook a unique Sardinia pasta, Fregola.
You need to take a little bit of water, just a little bit,
Okay?
and then you sprinkle flour all over it and press it with your palms to remove any kind of lumps. You have to make it delicate.
I can't seem to do it delicatamente. Signora Antonia, where does the strange texture of this pasta come from?
I guess it's just a tradition. And you can see straight away that it's ours, Sardinian.
Oh, I thought you were scolding me. I don't know all the Italian words, but it's probably not a compliment.
Oh, come on, look what you've done. You added too much water.
Tell me, how many years have you cooked this pasta for?
It's been 20 years.
And I've only done it for 3 minutes. No wonder it's not going that smoothly.
My grandmother, she's the one who taught me how to make it.
See, all I have is a little round bun.
It's too big.
Little buns are cute and round and delicious. And who doesn't like little buns? It's as if we're making breadcrumbs straight away, skipping the bread stage. Signora Antonia says it's easy to make this pasta. I personally think that Fregola is much more difficult than regular pasta. With regular pasta, you just need to roll the dough and cut it. Here, you have to make all these hand movements. And as you can see, with no prior experience, I've failed. That explains why this product is not that popular. It's much more difficult to prepare than regular pasta.
Here you are. That's enough for 4 portions.
Thank you very much. I, in return, can give you my little round bun. You can bake it and give it to someone as a present. But look out, it can roll away. Thank you. And that's how the exchange of culinary traditions happens. The food we've gathered are cooked only in little restaurants frequented by the locals. According to my observations, a regular lunch lasts about 4 hours. They stay at the table, talking and eating, as well as drinking a very strong local spirit called iron rod that they hide under the counter. This liquor is, of course, forbidden. That's why they bury bottles filled with it in the ground until needed, hence the name. At times, you can only find the buried treasure with the aid of a metal detector. The gattuccio shark is not easy to cook. It's only edible if cooked in a special way. First, it is boiled, and then a mixture of olive oil, vinegar, and walnuts is fried in a frying pan. This marinade is then poured over the fish, after which it is placed in the fridge for 2 to 3 days. The fregola is fried in a mixture of olive oil and white wine. Then, parsley, garlic, and seafood are added. As a next step, they pour water and a bit of tomato juice over it and steam it for about 15 minutes at a low heat. All that's left is to add the marinated shark, and lunch is ready. A shark can gulp down any human being, but not every human being can return the favor. Tell me, why do you eat sharks? We are islanders. We started eating gattuccio simply because they are there, in the strait. I think that in the olden days, it was mainly food for the poor. It's still very cheap, but it makes a unique local dish. All the ingredients are authentically ours, including walnuts, vinegar, and olive oil. To me, the burrito tastes more like meat to me, rather than fish. And it has a somewhat sour taste, possibly because of the vinegar in which the dish is marinated. I'd say it rather kindles the appetite rather than quenches it. And that's why it's most likely used as a starter, preceding the main course. Tell me, how many methods of cooking a shark do you know? Just one. There's no other way that you can eat it. And another culinary pinnacle of Sardinia, Fregola pasta. Can I try? Of course, go ahead. Fregola is never eaten alone, either with seafood or salsiccia, but never alone. Anyway, I'm glad that's the way they do it, as now I can enjoy wonderful fregola with seafood. To be honest, burrito is probably not everyone's cup of tea, while fregola is delicious. Just think of it. All the ingredients are both edible and legal. What are you waiting for? The sardines? Sardines? Sure, sardines. You live in Sardinia, so I expect to be served sardines here. Every child knows that Sardinia is full of sardines. You just don't want to give it to me, admit it. Admit it, Signor Carboni. Look. That's how you spell Sardegna, and that's how you spell sardine. These are two different words. You took me by surprise. It turns out that for the citizens of Sardinia, these are two different words, and they have nothing to do with sardines. In one word, Sardinian cuisine is full of surprises. Who could imagine that you can't find sardines here, and that they would treat you to a shark instead? As you well know, I like to present a recipe from every journey. But this time, I'm facing a challenge. First of all, I can't teach you how to make maggot cheese, or give you advice on how to serve a shark either. And to be able to make fregola, the local pasta, you need to practice for at least 3 years. Fortunately, strolling up and down the island, I discovered a great legal recipe, which, on top of that, does not contain sea predators. Hey, yeah? Can you read in Russian? Yeah, I can. Oh, can I have a look? It's written in Russian. You can't read this, right? Who wrote it? I did. Aha, very interesting. He wrote it, but can't read it. Paolo Simeoni is a famous Michelin star chef. He's had the opportunity to cook for Madonna, Ringo Starr, and Gwyneth Paltrow. His recipes are published in various countries, so he's just received an advanced copy of his book from Russia. Exclusively for the World of Taste, Paolo will disclose his special tomato sauce recipe to us. Tell me, how did you discover this recipe? I made it up. Naturally, it's based on the traditional tomato sauce recipes. What do you think? Is tomato sauce an important ingredient? I mean, what role does it play in a meal? Its role is paramount. It's the basis of Italian cuisine. Well, you know, it sometimes does happen that one cooks a beautiful dish using rare and fresh ingredients and then pours regular tomato sauce over it direct from the shop. Rather strange. That's why today we'll be learning how to make our own tomato sauce, right? You see, my recipe is special because I first saute the onion. When it is caramelized and sweet, I add carrots and celery. Tomato tastes slightly sour, so this flavor is neutralized by the sweetness of the onion. Basil adds aroma to it. Wonderful. And of course, olive oil. Yep. Everything happens rather fast. And so, that's the last stage of the cooking process. And now look at this sieve.
Tutto bene.
Wow. You know, of course, that nowadays everyone uses a blender. But Signor Paolo decided to demonstrate an authentic way of making a sauce using this quaint device. Can you see? And so, the sauce is ready. You can use it with any dish. Pasta, pizza, meat. Let's try.
Perfetto.
Molto buona, vero?
It is essentially a dish in its own right, and very tasty. I have no doubt in its beneficial properties either, given its ingredients. I think you simply have to write down the recipe of this sauce. We'll need 600 grams of fresh tomatoes and the same amount of canned tomatoes, 40 grams of olive oil, 10 grams of butter, 100 grams of onion, carrots, and celery, 5 basil leaves, ground pepper, salt, and a couple of cloves of garlic. Sauté the onion in a pan in a mix of olive oil and butter for about 10 minutes. Then, add all the vegetables, garlic, and fresh tomatoes. Steam for 10 more minutes at low heat. Finally, add canned peeled tomatoes and basil. Leave it to simmer for 20 minutes. Even if you're not hungry, when you start, the wonderful aroma will evoke your appetite. Paolo insists that the cooked sauce should be poured through a sieve, but I think it won't make a big difference if we blend it. Now add salt, pepper, and enjoy, which you can do with simple white bread. Italy can be compared to a patchwork of different regions, which joined together to form one state only 150 years ago. Therefore, it's not at all surprising that Sardinians like to emphasize their independence. Their culinary distinctive character is a way to accentuate their uniqueness and individuality. Sometimes they're even prepared to break the law in order to follow their passion. But food lovers don't mind that at all. Throughout its long history, the island has been invaded by many. Sardinians even have a proverb: those who come from the sea either wants to raid us or wants to impose their rules. But the islanders are stubborn. They hold on to their ways and eat what they please, even if it's not really edible or if it's against the law.